Hey guys, welcome back to Movie Geek Production channel, and today is James Stewart's birthday. We all known him as one of the greatest actors of any time, really, and he over the years have become one of my favorite actors of all time because he's just that good. And recently, in the past couple months, I've been watching a lot of his under the radar films that have been overshadowed by classics such as Rear Window, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, It's a Wonderful Life, Vertigo, The Philadelphia Story, and the list goes on and on and on that they're considered classics of the classics, the best of the best, right? Especially Rear Window, which is one of my favorite films of all time, and possibly one of my favorite performances from James Stewart, sitting in one location on a wheelchair, taking photography, because it's such an intense movie, and he was really intense in the role. Because one is directed by Alfred Hitchcock, and two is that James Stewart is in it. But we're not here to talk about the classics that I mentioned, but we're here to talk about the film that I watched recently that are underrated and underappreciated that have been overshadowed by the classics. There are 7 titles I'm going to talk about on this video that is worth recommending you guys to see some under the radar film that deserve more appreciation, that can be top tier as the classics that I mentioned, and I think it's going to be worth sharing my thoughts about it. So let's get right into it. The first 3 films that star James Stewart are westerns. I was really shocked to see that he had made some several westerns in his career, which is my shocking to knowledge that I did not know that, because I knew that he was a dramatic actor, some of the best, Rear Window, It's a Wonderful Life, yada yada yada. But I did not know he made some westerns. Few years ago, I did watch House the West Was Won, which he had a small role in a very big cast. And that was a good movie, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the 3 films I'm going to mention that are westerns that starred James Stewart. The first one is Broken Arrows, obviously starring James Stewart. This is great. Well, not necessarily a masterpiece, but it's a really good movie overall. It's about a man, played James Stewart, who was introduced to a young Apache who decided to help an Apache who was injured, and became a really trusting relationship, and making trust to Apaches, trying to make peace to the town that they're trying to get through the mail. But something happens, some ideals, basically the idea that touching the pressure is not the good, but there's so much going on in this movie. It's really engaging, but at the same time really enjoyable. Enjoyable ride. Like I said, it's a good western film. I really do enjoy it. James Stewart is, as always, excellent. This is a really great film about accepting who we are, as we are all human beings no matter what, even though we have a different race. This is a very good movie. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Really, really fun. Yeah, James Stewart in the Western. Yes, please. All the films I wanted to mention could also be as recommendations. The Four Countries, directed by Anthony Mann, obviously starring James Stewart. This is a good one. This is released by Arrow Video. It used to be an Arrow Academy release, but now it's a Arrow Video release. Very boutique title in the James Stewart film, which is pretty awesome to see. Yeah, this is a really good western, a very underrated as well. For what I remember correctly, it's about a lawman trying to help this innocent lives, to the cattle to go somewhere safe. The chief in town does not want to get him to get the cattle safely because he is the man in the town, and it's about the battle between trying to get the cattle to safety and the innocent lives that they're taking care of the cattle out, while James is trying to protect them to get their safety. I'm not making sense what I'm trying to say in the plot, but it's a really good movie directed by Anthony Mann. This year, I've been watching a lot of Anthony Mann films, which he had made several westerns, which is really cool to see. I've only watched 4 films from him in this year, which is really exciting. The Far Country is a really good one, a very underrated one. Really short and quick and really entertaining as well. And James Stewart is great. He is great. So this movie is great. This is a Warner Archive release, The Naked Spur, directed by Anthony Mann as well. This is a great, very intense and very enjoyable ride as well. Very underrated as well. Not a lot of people talk about this one. When I finished this movie, there were not a lot of people that I know that watched this movie, but there are a few who have seen this movie who are considered James Stewart fan. I really thoroughly enjoyed this one. I highly recommend. This is a really entertaining, very intense film. There are moments, there's a lot of moments in the movie that is very quiet, but at the same time, very intense. Third act is just a very action-packed thrill ride. This film is what I got in my memories. That is about James Stewart character who is a bounty hunter, came across this, very dangerous man, and it's about them having trust issues and trying to get that man to go to the police station, right, and get that reward that James Stewart character wanted. It's about that adventure, but there's a lot. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on, trust issues, trying to get this, wanted man to jail that James Stewart wanted to put and get the reward that he wanted. And it's a great western. Really do enjoy this. When the movie's finished, I was just speechless by the end of the film. It's just really great. I really great. It's just an underrated hidden gem for sure. The Mortal Storm. This is released by Warner Archive. This is fantastic. It's directed by Frank Borzage, who impressed me the heck out of it from last year. A couple years ago from In History Made It Tonight, which is available on the Criterion release, which is one of my favorite first-time watches. Love History is Made at Night, directed by Frank Borzage. Highly recommend that film, but I also highly recommend The Mortal Storm. This is fantastic. So what it is takes place during the rising power of Hitler, that deals with a lot of separate ways with the ideals, with particularly James Stewart character who does not like the idea of Hitler rising to power, and the sad thing that he unfriended his longtime friend who are into the idea of rising power of Hitler, but there's some people who are not into the idea of Hitler, the rising power of that during that time, where there's a lot of complications going on, and also involved with romantic as well, about them to character with James Stewart and Margaret Sullivan, were trying to keep it together, because they love each other, they trust each other, that same idea that they don't like the rising power, but the sad thing that there's a lot going on that can be very complicated and very hard to see each other. They've just made it into a very powerful, beautiful, and heartbreaking, and very engaging watch. Really thoroughly love The Mortal Storm. The more I think about this movie, the more I love this film. I really do. It's a beautiful directed film. It's a film that I did not expect to go. A kind of story that I did not expect to go. Because I went this film blind, not knowing anything about this film, and it took me by surprise. How powerful this film is, especially the third act. Because there's a lot of moments in the film I'm like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next, and after next. Everything about this movie can be falling apart for what's happening in the movie. This is a fantastic film. I highly recommend. Such a hidden gem. I'm so glad I watched this film for the first time. Just blew me away from my expectation. Going in knowing nothing was this film going to be. Phenomenal film. Harvey. Oh my gosh. I have nothing great thing to say about this film. This is fantastic, lovable, cute, delightful, heartwarming, at the same time very stressful film to watch. It's about a man who has a hallucination imaginary friend named Harvey as a 6-foot rabbit, basically befriend with James Stewart character. But people doesn't believe in him, that there's a bunny next to him that are friends. But his sister decides to send him to the sanitarium to make him feel, back to a healthy form and not have to worry about this whole imaginary friend. And there's a lot going on in this film that is so funny and so stressful, and it's just really thoroughly engaging film. And James Stewart character is such a likable, charming, wonderful human being. You just want to hug him and hang out with him, because I can see myself be friends with James Stewart character named, I believe it's Elwood P. Dowd. Yeah, Elwood. I would definitely be friends with him. This is an incredible, engaging, beautiful film. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot of great message to about how be kind to one another. It's an important thing to do. That you have to be kind to one another. It's the most important factor for us as human beings. That you have to be kind to each other, which is an amazing message overall in the film. It's just a beautiful, beautiful film that just blew my mind away. And this is considered a masterpiece. A 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. Beautiful, beautiful film. Beautiful performance by James Stewart portraying this wonderful, wonderful character. A delightful watch. Please, if you have not seen this movie, if this film was in your radar for a longer time, watch it, please. You Can Take It With You, directed by Frank Capra, who also directed It's a Wonderful Life. Now, this is not considered an under the radar. This is the Best Picture winner, starring Jean Arthur and James Stewart and Lionel Barrymore as well Edward Arnold. This is fantastic. So much going on, so much to unpack. So what this film is about: two different groups of factors. We have a middle class family and an upper class family. The upper class family is very successful. The middle class family is so much personality, so much accepting for each other that they all have different unique voice. And we come across with the James Stewart character and Jean Arthur character falling in love, even though they come from different worlds. One with the upper class family and the other one is the middle class family. And there's a lot of chaos going on that they're trying to convince James Stewart's parents that he loves Jean Arthur character. And then Jean Arthur family played by Lionel Barrymore, who is a grandfather. It's so nice to see that he's playing a very nice yet very respectful, charming character, other than playing a villain like It's a Wonderful Life as Mr. Porter. This is very awesome to see Lionel Barrymore to play something different and completely very likable, charming, and wonderful, and very accepting to others, who willing to help others basically. And yeah, Lionel is fantastic in this film, and you immediately buy him as a very lovable goofball grandpa, if you will, very caring, and just wonderful, wonderful character that Lionel portrayed. And it's a beautiful film about no matter what, you fall in love, you accept for each other, which is very nice. And there's a lot of chaos going on, trying to make sense for what they are as a couple. And it's a great film. It definitely, I can see why this won for Best Picture. I can see that. It's a great film. We got a hidden gem here. This one, not a lot of people talk about this one. That's the Glenn Miller Story, directed by Anthony Mann. Yes, Anthony Mann directed this film. It's not a Western. So there's that. So there's a very different departure from Anthony Mann filmography, not doing any Westerns. This is not a Western. This is a biography that actually based on a true story. And overall, my thoughts on this movie is, oh my gosh, this is such a hidden gem. What a discovery. Not a lot of people talk about this movie. This is the Blu-ray released by Shout Factory, part of the Shout Select line. This is by number 56, by the way. And you're gonna get this really cheap. So it's about this man who has a passion becoming the greatest musician alive. Basically, he trying to find this music, this tone that is new and fresh. And he's a trombone. He loved to play trombone, but he's trying to find that new type of music that he wants to play for everyone in the world. And so there's love going on. There's passion about becoming the best musician he can be. And overall, it's a fantastic film about going on to Glenn Miller life. And it's a beautiful story. Hope people, if you're watching this, check this one out. So I want more people to watch this movie and get the attention it deserves. This is definitely a underappreciation film. Those are the films I recently watched for the past couple of months that starring James Stewart. So really nice to see that I watch more James Stewart films that he's in that I have not seen. But in this section of the video, I will tell you what my plan to watch more James Stewart in the next couple of weeks. So these are films I own on Blu-ray that I'm planning to watch in the next couple of weeks, next couple of days. But there are several one Blu-ray is coming out really soon in the mail. That's a 4K release part of the Paramount present. That's Who Shall Liberty Valance. I believe it's coming out really soon tomorrow actually, and it's gonna be on 4K. Really excited to watch that. It's starring John Wayne as well, so really excited to watch that. It's coming out in the mail really soon. But there's 3 titles that I own on Blu-ray as well. So the first one are 2 westerns. We have Shenandoah, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I got this in the sale really recently in the King Lober sale for really cheap. So really excited to watch. And then we got Made for Each Other. This one I heard not so good things about. This one I heard it's like mediocre, but I really want to check it out because it's James Stewart, and I got this in the King Lober sale recently. This was really cheap, so really excited to watch this one for the first time. Let me explain why I got the copy of You Got Mail in my hands right now. Because when you open it up, it includes The Shop Around the Corner on DVD. This is starring James Stewart. This is the original film. I know there's a Blu-ray released by one of the archivers I would love to get, but I have the DVD for now, so I'm planning to watch this one really soon. And yes, there are other James Stewart films that he's in that are available on Blu-ray that I'm planning to get in the near future, but I don't have the right title in my mind that I forgot. I know one of them is The Greatest Show on Earth, which is started by Cecil B. Mill, I believe. This is one of the Best Picture winners, part of the Paramount Presents as well. So I might get that in the near future as well, because I'm not stopping. I'm going to watch more James Stewart film that he's in, because I love the man, I love the actor, and today we're going to celebrate his birthday and why he's a fantastic actor, because he is one of the greatest. And he was in a film that happened to be one of my favorite films of all time. That's Rear Window. Anyway, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. So yeah, have a great day. Take care.